what's going on? Welcome to episode 10 of The Life We Create. That's episode 10. 10 of them things. We got 10 of them things out here.
Double digits.
Ooh, wee. Feels like just yesterday we started this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment to get to 10. I wanted to pull up some stats on how many podcasters make it to 10 episodes, and I think there's a lot of fallout. So, yay us.
Okay. I don't have the stats or the info for that.
Look it up.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you know, I've seen podcasts. I've only made a few episodes. I've been a part of podcasts. I've only made a few episodes. So not too surprising by that stat.
We here.
Look at
us.
Yeah, look at us. Look at us. Shout out to Paul Rudd. But you know, I want to say kudos and thank you. So we got some good feedback on last week's episode, so it sounds like you all liked when we kind of just talk about our life and what we got going on, what we're doing.
A peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, so we actually decided we're going to do kind of another episode similar to, not the same content, but we had something really cool happen to us.
Yeah, we're going to
these
give
last
you
couple months
the inside scoop behind the scenes.
So I guess, do you want to start and tell them what it is to begin with that we did recently?
So we are in a Huggies commercial.
Yay! Big Huggies!
Yes, as a family.
Yeah, all three of us. You know, that's crazy. Yeah. It's probably like one of the coolest things that I can say to people is I was in a Huggies commercial with my family, with my like legit fam. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's been the biggest job I've booked since, you know, being out here in LA and, you know, pursuing acting. It's like the biggest thing I've done is with my family, and that's really cool. We all got to be a part of it, and I'll give you some insider knowledge on our experience.
Yeah. And, you know, before we even get into it, you know, I think there's something that Taylor said when we were doing pre-production on this that I think should be reiterated. And that's going back to a previous episode where we talked about being open to just what the universe has in store for you. And this is a prime example of that, because anybody that knows me knows I haven't done any sort of acting in like... It's been over a decade, well over a decade. So, and for anybody that doesn't know, the beginning of my life was like all acting. I went to school for acting, musical theater specifically. That was the vision, that I was going to be an actor. And then as I got older, I fell in love with music. And then after music, I was like, I still love music, but I think I want to be like behind the camera. And so that's kind of where directing and whatnot took off. But this was kind of like, you know, Taylor hit me up and was like, hey, my agent sent me this gig. Are you interested in it? And it was like sure, why not? Why not? I've got no reason to say no.
That's one of the best parts about this is like during the audition, it was so like we all were just so chill about it. And it was just super easy, and it was really short and natural, and it was just like being together and like being us. Yeah.
Which is such a cool audition, you know, just be yourselves. And so we booked it based on just being the normal way that we all already are.
Yeah, with each other.
Yeah. So we live a commercial life is what they say. They say, y'all fit the demo.
Yeah. Your lifestyle.
You reflect what we're trying to sell.
So this shoot, so it's a Huggies commercial, but they said this shoot is going to be in Mexico City. Make sure you're willing to travel there. Yeah.
And we had the audition the week before they planned on shooting.
Yeah, 1 week before.
Yeah. So we were like, whatever, all right, let's get it.
We're like, okay. Granted, 1 out of 3 had their passports ready to go do that.
Yeah, I had a passport, but it was expired. So I had to
re-up.
And then Cash obviously didn't have one.
He was 6 months old at the time.
Yeah,
so we had to get him one. We had to get expedited passports because we were chosen. They asked, we were basically put on a veil. We were asked all these things,
And break down what on a veil means for people.
Basically, we were one of the options. I don't know where we were in the lineup, but I felt it was pretty clear we were.
Sounds like we were at the top.
Yeah, because we kept getting like asked like, okay, are they good to go? Like, where are they at the process and blah blah blah. And it was just, we talk about this all the time with the shoot. It was legit meant for us. It was meant for us with what we had to do to like get everything in place to go do this. And there was like no questions about it on the other end. They were just like, when will you be ready to go?
Yeah, we had a week to get the passport figured out. We couldn't even get into the passport office until like 4 days or 5 days after we found out that we were going to be getting the gig. So, which was like 3 days, or actually 2 days before we were supposed to be leaving to go to Mexico City. And so it's one of those situations where sometimes the universe has things planned for you, and you just have to do your part and the universe will do its part, because this was like, they had every opportunity to be like, nope, we're gonna go with somebody else.
Yes.
Friday they were like, hey, are you gonna be able to do it? We were like, yeah, for sure. They said, basically told us that we were being chosen. But we had to get our passports. Passport office couldn't let us in until Wednesday of the following week. We had to leave Friday the following week, and we had to get it expedited because we were leaving. But like I've had to go, as we all have through our lives, especially when you're an adult. You've had to go do a lot of random stuff at the government building, whether it's getting Social Security cards replaced or just whatever you have to do. And none of those experiences are typically straightforward and easy
or quick.
So, even though they were all like, it's going to be quick, you'll be fine.
We were like,
yeah. We were like, oh, sure. But it was. They got us in. We even ran into issues almost in every spot. When we were at the desk trying to fill out the paperwork, we ran into an issue there and had to like.
I printed out the wrong, I printed out in black and white and had to be in color.
Yeah.
It was just like thing after thing, but it was like, honestly, no sweat. It was just like, just do it this way.
Yeah.
And my agent was really great in, keeping the relations between casting.
Shout out to Lux Talent Agency.
Hayden Jones, and also shout out to Sonnenberg Casting. So, it's been... So, basically, from there, after everything was all good and ready to go...
Oh, and our passports were ready within like 3 hours.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was no sweat. Yeah, so I was chill.
Yeah, I'm actually jealous of yours and Cash's passports because they're cooler.
Oh yeah, we got the fancy like new ones with like the technology within them.
Yeah. So then we get our itinerary. Once we said we were good to go, they're like, all right, bet. Yeah. And so they like sent over everything. We got in touch with producer really quickly for all of our travel plans. Yeah. Booked our flight. It was like the travel was a little nerve-wracking because it was kind of a longer flight, with the baby. And actually, like when we landed, Cash like threw up.
He did
because of the altitude change, which fun fact, Mexico City is like 2,000 miles higher than Denver.
Yeah, it was wild because like on the plane, like he's chill the whole ride. As we're like landing, I think Taylor was doing something, and I just saw his whole demeanor change.
Yeah, it was like
he was like playing, doing baby stuff, and then all of a sudden he just like powered down, and he's just like staring at me, and like I felt like the look was like, hey, something's not right, Dad. And I was just watching him. And I was like, is he okay? And Taylor's like, yeah, he's fine. She's looking at him. She's like, wait. And then we're just kind of looking at him. And all of a sudden, he just like turns and projectile vomits.
And no one noticed.
But he was good.
He recovered quick. It was fine. We got a driver.
Four Seasons was gorgeous. Oh my God. Just.
We got room service. We got per diem to have room service, which was amazing. And we just didn't really have time. And also, we couldn't really explore the city because we were on a schedule. We were there to work.
Yeah, we were
it's very much a job. Yep. And we wanted to make sure we were rested and
especially after the
just
travel.
In a foreign city. Like, I don't think either of us really felt comfortable like exploring.
I did not feel comfortable. I just didn't really have time to.
I didn't. Not without you, because I don't speak Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It probably would have been fine, but there just wasn't time for it. But, yeah, I had some great food. Our room was beautiful.
To even clarify, just for people that are like thinking about, oh, should I visit Mexico City? Like, at no point did I feel unsafe. I felt perfectly fine everywhere. I think there's a little bit of when you don't speak the language, there's always this sort of apprehension at times.
Yeah.
But if you've been to Los Angeles, if you've been to New York City, any of those places, Mexico City very much felt like that. It didn't feel foreign as far as cities go. It just felt like a major international hub with a lot of different types of people.
Yeah. I think it was just the element of being outside of your home country.
Yeah.
That was like the only part. But so it comes to the shoot. It's a production.
Yeah.
Like streets are blocked off, huge production trailers and everything.
Yeah.
I think, the first day we were on set, there were like 38 other babies, they said.
Well, I don't think I realized that.
Yeah. So they just were like shuffling them through. We get assigned like a wellness advocate for Cash. She's usually an on-set teacher, but because he's so little, she was a wellness advocate, and
she did a great job.
Yeah, shout out to Heather.
And also, it was cool because she's also, I guess she works as one of the teachers, like actually on set for Abbott Elementary. So that was cool. Just kind of hearing her talk about, that set and what she does there. But definitely grateful to have someone that was looking out for Cash's rights while we were there.
And well-being.
Yeah, things that we may not have realized or knew. Like, it was good having that voice be like, well, if you don't feel comfortable, don't do that.
Yeah.
And because when you're on a set, especially in such a large production, it's very easy to not want to derail things, because you can tell there's a lot of money into this, and you don't want to be the person that's holding up production. So sometimes it's easy to let things kind of just go and go with the flow. So it was great having somebody there be like, hey, I can see you're a little apprehensive about that. If you don't want to do it, you can tell them no. That was good to have.
Yeah. I think things have also changed for me personally. Like being a mom is like, I really don't have any fear in saying like, no, I'm not comfortable with that, which I feel happened as I entered motherhood.
Yeah.
Like it's just a different, it's like it's my kid. Like one of the first things I wanted to do was like, us go to wardrobe and then take Cash to a baby wrangler.
Yeah.
Granted, Heather would have been with him, but like we had just met her at that point.
Yeah.
We didn't really know how it all worked yet, and I was like, no. Like there's going to be one of us with Cash at all times.
Yeah.
Especially
and
in a
baby wrangler, for
country.
anybody that doesn't know what that is basically somebody that just takes care of all the babies. They watch them all on set. So yeah, there was that moment. And for me, I'd say it wasn't even like that I was worried about being overprotective or anything like that. It's just sometimes you don't realize, just it's a lot going on. Like at one point we're going through a scene, and we've been doing the scene for a little bit of time. Cash was getting more and more tired. The director was like, okay, let's try to get one more shot. And I was like, okay, let's do it. Like we're feeling good. We're feeling great. But like, my brain didn't like say, oh, but Cash is getting tired, he probably needs to wrap it up. It was more like, oh, just a quick shot, we can do it real quick, he's fine. And so you get into this work habit, and for me, a big part of that I think is I don't know if I mentioned before, but I have ADHD, and my ADHD, the way that it affects me is I hyper focus. So I zone in on something and I keep trying to get it till we're done. So I was kind of hyper focused. And Cash to me still seemed like he had a little bit of energy left. And I was like, oh, we can get it. And Taylor's like, she's like, no, I think he's tired. I think we're good. And so that was good having her there to be like, all right, let's have a higher level of awareness and be like, no, he's good.
And disclaimer, he was like taking a bath. So this was a scene where he was in the bath and a 6-month-old in a bath doesn't really last that long.
Yeah. And he was fine, like kind of keeping himself, like his head up and everything. But to her point, as he's getting tired, the attention, everything's on him. You could tell that as we were getting into the scene, he was losing attention.
And there was a lot of stimulation. We had like this bubble gun going, other people blowing bubbles.
Well, it was me blowing the bubbles.
And then all these different toys. I just remember hearing like a lot of voices, and like what's interesting about this shoot too is like the client was on set and telling the directors and DPs like if they liked the shot or not. And then, you know, you have a limited amount of time filming with a baby because of labor laws and stuff. So they were like trying to get these shots. But yeah, there was just one point where I was like, all right, let's just like stop for a second. Cause it did feel like really chaotic. But yeah, we got through that.
And well, I want to comment. So something high level, very interesting, having the client on set kind of approving shots. And so like I was thinking as I was watching, which, you know, I hear this is very common in the commercial industry where you do have this. For me, I was like, man, there's so many like judgment calls that I think as a director you're trying to make, to have in the moment, sort of like have this overseeing voice in the moment, be like, well, I want a different kind of shot. And so I saw on set in the moment that higher sort of executive that was making a decision. And you could see sometimes in the moment that a director would be like, all right, well, we got to keep doing this one because we need to get it this way for the shot. So I thought it was interesting just from a crew standpoint.
And also, side note, we didn't even actually know what we were shooting until we got there. Like what even, because it was unscripted.
You mean like what our actual roles were,
what it was and what our scene was and all that. So that was interesting.
Well, day to day was interesting because of that. Like there was so much like going to bed the night before. All we know is, hey, we got to go to set tomorrow. We don't know what time. We don't know what we're doing on set. We don't know how long we're gonna. We knew about how long because of labor laws for cash. But it was such a mind trip. Every day you just kind of wake up and go. And for me, I was like, man, it's crazy to think that like so many like celebrities live their life this way, where you have such a broad overview understanding of what your day is going to be like tomorrow, but there is so much that you just are putting in the hands of all the people in your team that make your life work. And so that was, it was fun, but I could easily see how it would disillusion you to life.
Well, and granted, we have, I think what's cool is we were able to go into it not only as talent, but as, you know, producers and, you know, people that are also like behind the camera doing stuff. So like it was a really cool experience for that too, especially seeing all like the rigs and the setup and just like the crew working together. And
I'm on set asking questions, like, you know, well, in one of the scenes that we were doing where I had to basically, which is funny, I had to drive a stick shift, which I haven't driven a stick shift in like 15 years. And had to kind of relearn on the spot, which was cool because they had all the streets blocked off. So they're like, hey, we're gonna get in this car and we're gonna practice. Okay. But in that time, I was able to kind of ask all these questions about like the shoot, about, you know, what people are doing, about, you know, where the ideas came from. I got to talk to the assistant director quite a bit to ask him questions. So it was a lot. It was like the coolest sort of, it was the coolest internship that I could have ever gotten, where I'm in front of the camera, but I'm sitting here getting like front row seat to ask all the questions I need for people behind the camera.
Yeah, it was cool in that way. I know. I just saw Cobain eyeing some of these setups, and like also they were trying to set up this one rig, and I could see the wheels turning in his head, and he like wanted to jump in and help, but like he was talent, so but yeah, shout out Paco. I really loved working with Paco. He was the first AD. Production company was Love Song Productions. They do phenomenal work. They had a really great crew down there.
Great crew. Before we even got to set, you know, they had a wardrobe come to the hotel, so we get fitted. You know, for about an hour before we even get to set, we're trying on different costumes and outfits and things like that. It was a luxe experience, you know, and that was great, especially for being, like I said, my first returned to acting in quite a while, it definitely not only brought the bug back, but it was like, I'm trying to get these upper level shoots more often. Yeah. Try to live my life traveling across the world shooting commercials.
Yeah. Commercials are great gigs. Yeah. They really are. They're really quick. They definitely help pay the bills.
2 questions to you. 1, what was your favorite part? And 2, what did you take away from this trip?
I mean, my favorite part was definitely being on set and like being with each other, and because a lot of the shoot was like being with each other.
Yeah.
So that was just fun to experience like together. There were a little stressful moments, but overall, like it was fun to be a part of the process. And I liked that one moment where we got to explore the 4 seasons and went to like the pool spot, and it was just beautiful. So taking that all in. And what was the other question?
What did you take away from this whole experience?
I got more of like an inside look at productions, and especially with commercials and why they would shoot in Mexico City. I just kind of like observed and learned a lot.
Yeah.
Because I will say traveling to another country to do this in a quick turnaround was taxing. Mm-hmm. I feel, it would definitely have been a different experience to have just stayed in LA.
Right.
So yeah, just a lot of learning, a lot of lessons, a lot of observing. What about you?
Yeah. I'd say my favorite part, hands down, just being on set with my family, doing the scenes together, where being able to be who we are in real life, in a situation that allows the rest of the world to kind of see the way that we are. So that was really cool. Coolest experience that I think I could ever have. And I'd say what I took away from it was being able to see what a large production, from the top down looks like, from seeing all the different pieces, all the different teams kind of running and working around, making things happen. It was because it's a lifestyle shoot, and the way that they were shooting this, it's kind of one long commercial with a bunch of different moving parts within it, and so there's a lot of different families and groups within the commercial. Mm-hmm. And so it was cool seeing all of that done at the same time, which is crazy. You had your main unit that was shooting kind of a lot of the big scenes, and then you had the second unit that was working behind them doing other stuff on set at the same time. So it was really cool seeing all these different parts coming together. And because we didn't know what the commercial was or was going to look like, when you watch it later, like I remember that crew. I remember that person getting ready. They were getting fitted with me, or not fitted. They were in wardrobe getting dressed with me, and then I see their scene. It was like a quinceañera.
And that baby with all that hair. Yeah. I remember seeing them in the room.
Yeah. So it was just cool, kind of seeing all that come together from such a high level. Great crew. Phenomenal people. Definitely looking forward to working with them again. So this was just kind of what we wanted to talk about. I think we're really excited about it. Well, obviously, I assumed we put the clips of the commercial throughout this, but we'll link it also.
Oh, fun fact.
Oh yeah.
Cash's part, he wasn't actually sleeping. He was wide awake.
Yeah, till I got to see firsthand of a VFX shot.
VFX magic.
There's a scene. It's
called nap interlude.
One of our scenes where I was driving the car and Cash was in the back. When we were shooting it, Cash was wide awake, and so they made him sleep in post. But it was a cute little like moment that he gets in the whole commercial. So that was cool. That's definitely cool.
Yeah.
Grateful to have this opportunity. Again, thank you to Hayden and Lux Talent Agency.
And the ESI Network.
Yeah, for the opportunity.
Yes.
Glad we were able to crush the audition and book it, and looking forward to more of this.
This is just the beginning.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to just try things. And don't be afraid to try things with the people that you love. Friends, family, whoever. You never know how things come together. And I think you just got to live your truth. Do what you want to do. Don't hurt people. But
maybe say yes more than you say no.
Yeah, I like that. Because you just don't know. You don't know where things take you, and you don't know how doing something that you may not have thought was a thing that you wanted to do can lead you to other things.
Yes.
So shout out to the universe.
Yeah.
Shout out to Huggies. It's the Huggies skin.
Skin Essentials.
Skin Essentials. That's their new diaper product. So check those out.
Yeah. And we'll see you back here next week.
Yeah.
Yep. And thanks for joining us as always. Follow, share, subscribe.
Yeah, that's at Self Love Media on all platforms.
Yep.
I should show it right about. Yeah, I'm gonna hold it. It's funny because sometimes when people do this and then you edit it, it's not here because this actually wasn't a great place to put it. So hopefully this turns out to be a great place. Right. But thank you. And we'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Adios. Muchachos. That's the limit of my Spanish.